Alright guys, so in this part of the video series we're going to show you how to assemble your amp rack for your vehicle. Now this particular amp rack here is our universal rack, and this one is much less expensive than the custom fit racks. For example, this rack here fits a Toyota Tundra. We have amp racks for Toyota Tacomas and a few other vehicles. Now it's really important that you attach your amplifiers to the vehicle. I've seen guys where they take Velcro and they attach it, stick it to the carpet, and that's not safe for many reasons. If you're in a car accident, just a lot of reasons. So you really need to be sure that you attach your amplifier to something and secure it, and do a really good job of securing it to the vehicle. Alright, so depending on which vehicle you're installing this into, you may install it this way or this way. And the purpose for this notch here is based upon where your harnesses are coming in from the seat. We generally mount this under the seat. I'll give you an example. In the 4Runner, in the 09 to 16 4Runner, we generally mount it this way on the driver's side. On a Corolla, we'll generally mount it this way on the passenger seat. These bolts here, or these holes, have been pre-drilled and pre-set up for our amplifiers. What we're going to do is we're actually going to show you how to mount these, and then when you go to fit this into your vehicle, just check out the video. We should have a video for your particular vehicle, and you'll be able to tell which one goes where.
Alright, so step one with assembling your amp rack, I always like to just position where I'm going to be placing everything. That way it's kind of laid out and we already know beforehand kind of what it's going to look like. Okay, I always like to start off with the distribution block, because once you have these two on, it's a little bit harder to get your screws in here with these kind of in the way. So it's always easier to start with the distribution block. It obviously goes right here in the middle, the two hole locations for your two screws. So now we're going to take two of our bolts here, put one of the bolts into the holes, we'll turn the rack upside down, we'll grab one of our flange nuts and just twist this on the back side. Alright, so on these universal racks, we're going to be using self-tappers straight into the vehicle on the corners here. So with this one, we'll only be using our bolts on the interior sides, so that our exterior, or our corners, can be mounted with our self-tappers and our spacers. So go ahead and slide in your bolts up top, same way we did with the distribution block. Very important just to have them hand tight for now, because as you can see, it has a little bit of play still. So we're still able to get our other bolts in position correctly. So now we have our last amp here. Now we're going to go on the interior holes. Remember, like I said, interiors, because our exteriors are going to be used, and our corners are going to be used for our self-tappers. Alright, now you can position your amps and your distribution blocks to where your other unused holes will correctly line up with the holes on the rack. Then you can grab a number 2 impact and you can just tighten these in. You don't want to over tighten, just make sure they're nice and snug in there. Alright, so in this next part we're going to be just putting in our fuses into our distribution block here. You're going to use a number 3 Allen wrench for this. Four-channel amplifier side, just like that. Tighten it up. Going to go on your subwoofer side, where your subwoofer amp is. So if it doesn't go in, just loosen it up a little bit more. Now we do include 2 grommets that are to be placed in these holes here. So you just push them in from the top, they snap right in. Then you want to use your Allen wrench that came with your amplifiers to loosen up your 12 volt position screw on your amplifier. Then you want to grab your number 4 Allen and loosen up your distribution block. So I already have some 8-gauge wire made. If you did buy our kit, we do include this. So using a razor blade or a wire stripper, go ahead and strip back about 1/2 inch of insulation or jacket to expose some of the wire. Okay, so this one's ready to be put in. I just want to go over something real quick just so you know what it's going to look like on the inside of this. You want to make sure that when you put it in, only some of the jacket is inside to be hidden, making sure that none of the copper wiring can be exposed on the outside. And you also want to make sure that the screw, when it goes down, that it's only touching the copper wiring here to make sure that your connection's nice and solid. Another thing is, I'll show you in just a second, when you're tightening up on your amplifier side, you want to make sure that you do have it in that correct location. I'll show you real quick. On the amplifiers, it's actually labeled. It says 12 volt and ground. So your ground is going to be for your black wire that's going to be grounded to the vehicle. Where it says 12 volt, that's where this red wire is going to be going, right into the 12 volt. Again, make sure that you have no exposed wire and that the screw, when you're tightening it down, is only catching the copper wire itself. You should have something like this when your power wire is complete. Now we're going to do the same thing with our ground wire. Obviously, we make our grounds just a little bit longer, so you have different options of where you want to ground to. So obviously, each vehicle is going to be different, which is why we create this universal type rack so it can be used on multiple vehicles. So you want to start from the bottom, stick your wire through, give yourself enough slack to work with. First, we're going to start by stripping down about 1/2 inch of this wire. Give it a little bit of a wiggle and another 1/4 turn. Then you can push a little bit of the slack down, make it nice and neat, like that. Give it a little bit of a wiggle and another 1/4 turn.
All right, so here we're getting ready to mount the plug-and-play amps on the universal rack. All right, we try to find these in black. These are the spacers we use to lift it up over the air vent. And we can't always get these in black. So what we do sometimes is we take some black tape, wrap these, and then they're hidden under here so you won't really see them. But the reason we do that is we like to tape them black so you can't see this white color coming out from under the seat. A little bit of black tape. If you're lucky, we're able to find the black ones, but we have a hard time finding them sometimes. So this is a quick fix to get around that. I mean, you don't have to do this, but I like it to be totally blacked out where I don't like seeing the white under there. Maybe I'm just being picky. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we include these self-tappers. So what we do here is, I think you can see that, yeah. We're going to take the self-tapper, put it into here. It's going to cut some of this plastic here, this metal here in the amplifier. Then we're going to drill and we're going to go into the truck or your vehicle. Now before you do that, again, you want to lift up the carpet. And we're going to show you in the actual vehicle, you're going to lift up the carpet and make sure that this is not going to hit any wires underneath the carpet. Also, as this goes through the floorboard of your car or truck, you might want to do a quick look underneath the truck and make sure you're not going to hit anything. Generally, you're pretty safe. We keep these pretty short, but it's always good just to double check before you drill and potentially hit a brake line, a gas line, something underneath the car. So just take a quick peek before you put these in. Again, we highly suggest attaching it to the vehicle. Don't just Velcro it. Don't just leave it laying there, because if you're in an accident, you don't want this thing flying around. You want to make sure you get a good, secure connection. All right, so we're going to move over to the vehicle and we're going to show you how to get it strapped in.